What's going on, guys? It's Lark here. Markets in the red. We're going to be talking about what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with Bitcoin mining, and what the future of Bitcoin mining is going to be looking like. So, before we get into that, quick shout out to everyone who is hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel down below, guys. I love all that support. You guys keep supporting me, and I'll keep making videos for you guys. That's the deal. And of course, quick disclaimer, this is not professional financial advice. This is just one man and his passion for all things crypto related on the internet. So, guys, let's get into it. Bitcoin down to $4,046.85 at the time of recording this video. The whole market is basically in the red. There are a few outliers who are doing kind of okay in the bloodbath. It's quite interesting to see. Verge, amazing. Good old Verge. Yeah, you guys really got me on that one. I was totally wrong on Verge. It just keeps going from strength to strength. This is basically the only thing doing okay in this bloodbath. Amazing. Amazing. So, let's have a look at it. Now, this is quite astounding to see right here. Look at the drop from 4,600 all the way straight down. Boom. Boom. $400 in the course of about 30 minutes or so. That's Bitcoin, guys. It goes crazy sometimes. And of course, this is the second time this week that we've seen massive price fluctuation due to reports coming out of China. Whether those reports be true all the time or not is a whole different question. But reports coming out of China have a massive, massive influence on the price of Bitcoin. Of course, if you look at the actual volume and where Bitcoin is being traded, it's all being traded in China. Chinese yuan, Chinese yuan, Chinese yuan, and of course Bitcoin to US dollar over on Bitfinex, which is of course based also in the East. So very, very interesting to see how much fear there is right now in the Chinese market. This announcement that they made, well, maybe we're going to be banning Bitcoin on exchanges. It's really, really sent the market crazy in East Asia, and people are selling for basically anything in order to get out and take some profits with them before they go. Very interesting. Now, I also did want to mention this, is that all of our favorite cloud mining services are all sold out. Bitcoin is so popular, it's crazy. And I mention this because I don't want you guys to think just because China might be regulating or banning or doing whatever that it's, going to destroy Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going to be over. Yes, China accounts for a massive percentage of the volume of Bitcoin, but that's going to move elsewhere, guys. Look at this. Genesis mining is sold out. Super popular. Hashing 24 is sold out. Even at $320 a terahash, they sold out. Hashflare, even at $240 a terahash for 1 year, they sold out, guys. Hashnest, sold out. Sold out. Even Bitmain shop itself is simply sold out of their Antminers. It's getting really, really competitive out there, guys. And I just imagine this future where, Genesis mining contracts are going to sell out in 24 hours or 5 hours or 6 hours or something crazy like this. They're pre-sale, and I don't know how much they had out for sale. Maybe they only had 10,000 terahashes available or something like this. But that sold out in 2 days, guys. 2 days, their pre-sale sold out. It gives you any idea of the insane popularity of Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. So even though this fear is going on in China right now, it's not indicative of what is going to happen to Bitcoin in the future. It's just a temporary dip, and for those of you who have the cash on hand to buy into that dip, it might dip even lower, guys. So keep your hands cool and your hands on your mouses and ready to click that buy order. Okay, this is something I wanted to mention as well. We are in 2017. Bitcoin mining in 2017 is still very, very profitable. This might change in the near future, guys. The next halvening, that is when the block reward drops from 12 to 6, is only a few years away. You might say, well, Mark, that's a really long time, a few years. Yeah, I know it's a long time, a few years. We need to take those profits now, guys. Get in there and take those profits now. When Genesis mining comes back, it is time to get some terahash power, guys. Because in 3 years, Bitcoin mining is going to become so competitive. Imagine all the people in 3 years who are going to be into Bitcoin. How many more corporations will have got into Bitcoin? Everyone competing for those 6 Bitcoins per block. It's crazy. It is crazy. Of course, right now we're looking at, there are 1,728 Bitcoins produced every day. So, and we're doing 144 blocks per day. So there will still be 144 blocks per day. It's just that the number of Bitcoins produced off those blocks is going to go by half, so the competition is going to get so much stiffer, We'll look back on 2017 and go, God, I could get a $150 terahash back in 2017. That was crazy. Why didn't I buy more of those back then? The same way you might look back a year or two into the past now and say, gosh, well, it was only $500 back then. Well, we'll look back now and say, God, it was only $4,000. Why didn't I buy in that dip? Because now it's worth $40,000 a Bitcoin. It is getting super competitive, guys, and it's only going to get more and more competitive. Big news out of Japan, and this isn't getting nearly enough press. There is a Tokyo company, the GMO Internet Group. They are getting in to Bitcoin mining in a big way. They're going to spend $320 million next year, guys. That is huge. Blows the Russians out of the water. They only raised $65 million for their Bitcoin mining project. The Japanese are going to go $320 million. Guys, it's going to totally change the market next year. Not only that, but they are coming out with new chips, which are going to be way more competitive. We're going to have 7 nanometer nodes versus the current 16 nanometer nodes. Way more competitive chips. Everyone's going to have to do a lot of upgrades on their systems. Genesis Mining is going to have to upgrade a lot. Everyone's going to have to upgrade. It is the war, the arms race as they call it, for Bitcoin is going to get really serious next year, guys. There's going to be a lot more big players coming in. Right now, all the big players are in China. And you notice, China's not talking about outlawing the Bitcoin mining farms. They just don't want regular people to be having Bitcoin. I really feel like this is the way of it. If you look over in Russia, they're arresting people for trading Bitcoin. If you look over in Russia, they're going to ban Bitcoin mining in residential spaces. This is interesting. I know I mentioned this previously, but I want to bring this up again because when you look at this, they've got the Russian mining company, right? They're going to start mining Bitcoins in Russia. The power's cheap, and they basically want to have control of all the Bitcoin. You're going to find this is going to be governments and corporations all competing for those Bitcoin in a few years, guys. And it's a sad situation, but this is the way the Bitcoin is going, quite simply. And altcoins will start to feel that pressure too. Dash and Litecoin are going to be next on the chopping block, guys. Just that Bitcoin currently is the big one, the one that everyone's pushing for because it is so high value per Bitcoin. They're not going to want regular people to have Bitcoin because that's just competition for them. And if they can stop the competition, well, they will. That's why I'm so surprised that, these big Bitcoin farms in China haven't really seen the regulations that, are being proposed where regular people can't get a hold of Bitcoin, but the big corporations, they can still get a hold of their Bitcoin. It's very suspicious, all of this, to say the least, but nevertheless, that is the way the Bitcoin industry is going. It is becoming, in 5 to 10 years, Bitcoin will be simply giant corporations fighting each other for the right to own Bitcoin. Even, cloud mining or home mining, all this stuff will just be thing of the past, guys. It'll be a thing of the past. That's why it's so important to get in on it now. Get those Bitcoin mining contracts while they're profitable. Buy Bitcoin while it's still, within the price of a normal human being to be able to buy. And hold on to them long term, guys, because when all these big corporations start rolling in, when governments start mining Bitcoin, you bet your bottom dollar that not only is the price of Bitcoin going to absolutely skyrocket, but that Bitcoin mining for the regular human being will be a thing of the past. That's why it's so important that we're all getting in now. That everyone who got those, Genesis mining, Bitcoin mining contracts the other day, guys, that was such a good deal. Keep on watching out for them. I think over the next year or so, even 2 years going into the future, those Bitcoin mining contracts will be a good buy still. But, in 4, 5, 6 years' time, especially after 2020 when the block rewards have, that might be it, guys. That might be it for all of us, average Joe Bitcoin miners. The game may change completely after that, and it'll only be the big players from there on out. Kind of unfortunate, but that's the way it is. So, this is a quick note, the CEO of Via BTC and the CEO of BTC China have both come out basically saying that they'll support whatever the Chinese government does. But, again, there's no actual confirmation on whether or not, 100% this is exactly what China's going to do. So it's, a lot of it is just rumor at this point, unless, there's been some new announcement that I've missed. But currently it is just, no official confirmation, right? The People's Bank of China has not come out with an official line yet. There are just these unofficial lines. So you do have to keep that in mind. We might see a big price jump back in a couple days on Bitcoin, but if there is an official cutoff, we will see probably a farther dip in the price of Bitcoin. So, hold on to your butts, guys. It's coming. Now, a little bit of positive news here, I suppose, is that in the U.S. they're going to let you be able to make small purchases with your Bitcoin under $600 without having to pay capital gains tax. Jeez, that's crazy. 'Cause even if you make $5 with Bitcoin, you're supposed to record that and pay capital gains tax on it. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. You don't have to do that with your dollar bills, but you have to do that with your Bitcoin. And one final note here is that over in Portugal, and this is also true, maybe not the exact numbers are true in Spain and France, but Portugal certainly has banned cash payments over 3,000 euros. Can you guys believe that? That's not even one Bitcoin. That's not even one Bitcoin, guys. This is amazing. Government control is something that Bitcoin was hoping to solve. And as corporations and governments actually are the ones who are going to be doing the Bitcoin mining in the future, of course, becomes a trickier situation. But that just makes it so important, guys, that, you are getting involved. Remember, we are still the early adopters at this point. We might, even if you weren't, involved in Bitcoin 2, 3, 4 years ago, you're still an early adopter now. And there's still plenty of time to really get involved in Bitcoin before things, totally go overboard. But, in a future where even cash, where you'll get fined. Imagine this, you'll get fined for buying something in cash over 3,000 euros. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. I'm sure at some point they will bring in Bitcoin regulations for that too. But that being said, in response to this kind of stuff, 4,000 new Bitcoin outlets. That's crazy. In Spain, just in July this year. Amazing. Amazing. Of course, that's not Portugal, but nevertheless, it just shows you that as governments crack down more and more on regular money, Bitcoin and all the other altcoins will see a massive surge in popularity, guys. The prices are only going to go to the moon. But so will the difficulty, and so will regulation. So it's an interesting space, guys. It's an interesting space, the Bitcoin space. Anyway, those are just some thoughts and some news for you guys today about Bitcoin. That's all from the Crypto Lark. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.